What's up, everybody? It's Vicious here with the Immersive Arcade podcast. I know it's been a while since we've uploaded, but Anubis still is currently, getting all his ducks in a row, getting all his stuff together. So, I haven't really been as motivated to come up with topics. Luckily, we got Mr. McCracken here again today to fill in and to talk about some games. What's up, Corey?
Hey, I'm happy to be here again. So, there's a lot actually going on currently that I wanted to talk about, mostly pertaining to Sony. So, we got Horizon Forbidden West, that situation with the PS4 and the PS5 upgrade, and then the PlayStation Summer showcase is coming up
Mm-hmm.
this, I think, next week.
Mm-hmm. What was specifically about the Horizon thing did you want to talk about the upgrade? Like you mentioned upgrade, but does that mean that you're not trying to, or you're trying to get the PS4 and then upgrade to the PS5 version?
So,
And you're worried about like the upgrade costs? Because I haven't seen anything about them um, doing anything with the price necessarily.
Well, as it stands right now, like you can obviously you already know you can play like your PS4 titles on the PS5,
Mm-hmm.
but the PS4 title won't receive the same visual and performance upgrades obviously as the PS5 version, so there's two separate standalone versions as of right now. I think there's been some kind of concern and outcry from those who don't necessarily because they don't have a PS5 at the moment. They because stock is limited. But if they get Horizon Forbidden West on their PS4 and they want to jump to the PS5, they won't get that upgraded version. So I think that's the reason why there's a few people upset about it. Me personally, I know there's a standard version and then you got the next gen version. So my thoughts on it, I don't have a PS5, but I just know that if you know there's two separate versions, there's two different SKUs for it, and I don't know. I find it interesting that Sony doesn't have a easy like transition process like Xbox does, where the standard version automatically gets that upgrade version with their first party games. Now, third party is a totally different subject. But what's your take on the whole PS4 version and PS5 version? And what's your thought on the cost of upgrading or having to buy a whole separate version opposed to just getting that free upgrade?
Well, as I'm reading now, it says that you can upgrade, but they want you to get the deluxe edition for like $80. So like they want you to pay basically the price of the PS5 version plus $10, and I think that version comes with like an extra skin for Aloy and like some other things, just regular deluxe edition stuff. So basically, they want you to pay for the PS5 version plus the deluxe edition.
Correct.
Um, to yeah, so it's not like you have to pay for like two separate ones. You don't have to pay $60 and then pay $70.
Well, I mean that's if you choose to buy that deluxe version. But if you're buying like a standard Horizon Forbidden West, you won't get that same, I guess, enhancement. If you choose to get a PS5 later on, you're just going to have to buy the deluxe version or the next gen version
I think
all
that
over.
I think that there's like I think there's like some sort of like, well, I can't say anything yet because they haven't said anything, but it could be kind of like how Neo 2 did it, where like the PS5 definitely enhances the performance, but it's not the tailor made version.
Right.
I don't know if we're gonna like rule that out just yet, because if you don't know, in Neo 2, originally for the PS4 Pro, see, Neo 2 is an interesting game. It had three separate modes. There was a movie mode that allowed you to play the game with some visual flair to it. Meaning like trees would move with the wind, grass would move in certain areas, blase blah. There would be more like foliage and things like that. And it was the frame rate was uncapped, and then there was a frame rate mode which was for the PS4 Pro, which allowed you to play at 60 frames per second, but all that extra detail was sort of gone. It didn't look bad, it just didn't have the things that made movie mode look good. And then there was the graphics mode, which prioritized as they call it, checkerboard 4K, I guess. I don't know. I'm not Digital Foundry, but it wasn't, legit max 4K or anything along those lines. And it was locked at 30 frames per second. When PS5 came into the picture, you basically, there was no reason to have the graphics mode and the frame rate mode, because in movie mode, since the frame rate was unlocked, the PS5 had the movie mode from Neo 2 functioning at 60 frames per second with all the visual flares of movie mode and the 4K mode, basically. So it could be that Forbidden West is like that, and with the PS5 version, obviously they're going to make it tailor made. Like there's going to be fast loading times, and there's going to be not a frame rate that's like not gonna have like a cap frame rate. It's probably gonna be 120 FPS mode. Probably gonna be like 4K 60, and maybe they might throw in, if they're brave, a 1080p ray tracing mode, or it could even be a Spider-Man situation where they have a performance RTX where they have ray tracing and 60 FPS. But all this is up in the air. Um,
Right.
and I don't mean to go on real long about it or anything, but
You're fine.
the $20 thing, it is a bit staunch. I will say that. So like, if you want the PS4 version, you don't get it for free, like you would with Microsoft. That does suck, but at the same time, I'm in a position where it's like, I understand that Microsoft makes a lot more money than Sony and can offer a lot more things for free than what they can. And it's not to say that Sony is poor or anything, but
No.
they also, not that this means anything, but they also just bought like, we could talk about this too. I just thought about it. They also bought Funimation. They bought Crunchyroll. They're like trying to become a force like MS is, but I'm not going to say that excuses the price of the upgrade, doing the quotation fingers, but I don't think that there's not going to be any way. Like, I'm sure they'll change in between now and February of 2022, like how the upgrade is going to go. Just yesterday, I found out that Death Stranding director's cut is only a $10 upgrade from the regular PS4 version. I was like, no, it's tight. You know,
Like a
from
10 upgrade isn't a huge deal to someone like me.
oh, big
But
baller.
but I the only reason why I wanted to bring up that topic was just I seen it. I was on Twitter and I kept seeing like everyone talking about it. Oh, why is Sony being so greedy? Blah 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 blah. But as a consumer, you should already know there's they pretty much laid out in front of you. There's no hidden agenda. This is what they offer. Like you get the standard version, you get a deluxe version, the collector's edition. But the concern I do understand is, say someone does buy a standard version, and not just like Horizon Forbidden West, just like in general, and then they finally get their hands on the PS5 and they can't get the next gen version of that game. Ultimately, they'll have to, repurchase a full game, which kind of sucks. But it's laid out in front of you. It's not like Sony's hiding this from anybody. That's just how it works. And
Yeah. I want to say probably like the only like bummy thing that I would say that I kind of disapproved of is like when they made Final Fantasy VII Remake free on the PS4 store. But if you got it for free from the PS Plus sale, then you could not get the you couldn't get the upgrade for free. That looking back is kind of grimy, but it's funny too because it's like, well, you did get the game for free. So like I don't know, I don't know,
They're
but
like, here, have this.
yeah, have this,
You're
but you can't get the latest version because your bum ass waited a whole like year to buy this fucking game for free. Which
right.
which arguably back in the day, I would argue that that's such a fucking sick deal that after a year a game is free. Like normally it takes like a couple years for a game to just be free unless it was like a flop like Anthem, which is a game I loved. It was like $5 after a year.
You
And
sad because Anthem, I thought it had potential.
it did. They just never got that potential together. There's so many haters, nobody focusing on the positives of the game, and then they had the team that was crunching and trying to fix stuff, and they just never had it together. Unfortunately, it was still a good product. Like I recommend, it's $5. I recommend that to anybody. Like it's good times. You get a couple friends playing, but yeah, the Horizon situation, I didn't even realize that there was any negative thing going on because like overall, I just seen positivity from the release date finally being announced and people
Yeah.
just
What is that? February of 2022.
yeah, I forget the specific date. It might be February 18th, but yeah, like it's a really tough situation, but it's like if you don't have a PS5 by February, just in my opinion, just get the deluxe edition. You can save $20 more. Like these people that buy these games, I wish there was a study on like what other games that they're going to buy because not everybody buys a bunch of games a year like me or like you. Um, we we get a bunch of games, and the people that get Horizon Zero Dawn, who knows if they get multiple games a year? Who knows if they're planning on getting any more? It's just $20 extra if you got the PS4 version, man. Like I don't know. It's not the best, but I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna, you know, make a big deal out of it. Maybe because I got a
Right.
PS5. I don't know.
My thing is, you know your options in front of you, and if you choose to get the standard version for like $60, right, and you know the upgrade's not possible unless you have that deluxe, the collectors or whatever, and you get a PS5 later, the only person you should be mad at is yourself.
Yeah, or like there could be a misguided parent. Like that's the thing that I probably fear out of
Parent,
everything.
then for
Hmm?
sure. If it's like a whole grown adult
Yeah,
buying it themselves, that's like, dude, you already knew what the situation was.
yeah, because you can't. Sometimes parents like make mistakes, and I cut my mom some slack when she got me. It was a terrible game regardless, but I wanted it when I was a kid, and I made myself like it. She got me Spyro: A Hero's Tale for Christmas one year, and I wanted it for PS2, and she got it for GameCube. And I had a GameCube, so it was okay, but I was just like, dang, But that's the type of stuff that happens. It happens to a lot of people. I told Anubis before, don't underestimate how parents can get confused because they're not, especially from our generation, they're not they've never been into our hobby, so they don't know what to do or what to get for us. Um, and we are getting to a point where we're bleeding into the next generation where we're going to start getting games for our kids. Like we need to be more responsible. Us millennials and really Gen X should be more responsible too. I would think they have been, but
Right.
before that, well, during that time, and before them, it's like, you never know. That's why I was telling Anubis that the whole Xbox name situation is stupid, and since he's a fanboy, he doesn't want to acknowledge that it is easy for anybody in the world, you know, let alone parents, anybody could be confused by Series X, One X, One XL, Series S, One S. You know what I mean? Like that, and I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure that's happened a couple of times already within the past year, where people have gotten the wrong console. It's because parents don't really know any better, and that's what I fear for Horizon.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the whole name situation for Xbox, the One S, one, Series S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, like parents that aren't like involved or in the know-how, especially in the gaming world, they're just trying to get their kid like a console for Christmas,
Hmm.
and they go and they think they're getting them the Series S, but really they get them the Xbox One S, and they get home and they're like, "Well, here you go, Tommy. Here you go." And little
Yeah,
Tommy's upset because he didn't get the right console for Christmas. So the whole name thing is kind of irritating to me as well. It's like you kind of came up with something better. Like PlayStation's simple. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
yeah. I mean, hell, man. I mean, even Nintendo, I could just be like, oh, well, okay. Obviously, you know, it's easy to tell which is which because there's not like a. The only one that might have been different is like the Wii and Wii U, and
Right?
there's a U at the end of Wii, so you would assume it's the sequel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know, dude. Uh, that's one of the conversations I've had with him before, but he just thinks that everybody is an idiot if they did that, and it's like it has nothing to do with being an idiot, man. Just admit that the name is a little weird. Like that's all you gotta do. Um, but yeah, I think that's it for Horizon. To be honest, unless you have more to add to that.
Um. No, I do know though they'll probably talk more about it at the PlayStation Showcase, which is scheduled to be September 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah. Um, oh, any predictions on that? Like, do you think that
Um,
that's it?
I think because it's a 40-minute long showcase, I feel like they're gonna show like a sneak peek at the future of PS5, a few updates here and there from different studios, and probably some games that are coming out that we may have already heard of, or maybe some games we haven't even heard of. But the
Hmm.
showcase, I think, has potential to be exciting. Well worth watching, honestly. I'm definitely tuning in on the 9th to see what's in store for Sony or PlayStation down the road because PS5 next gen is exciting to me, and I want to see what's coming out.
Ditto. I'm just thinking about the motif that they have with the whole unveiling of or the reveal for that event coming out. Because it was all gray. I don't know what to think about that. I was thinking maybe it could be the God of War sequel. We might get an actual real trailer besides a logo, you know,
Right.
and Horizon. I think they didn't, in the original Horizon, they didn't really show that much during its whole like pre-release. Like I think it was shown off a good 2 or 3 times, and then it released. So I don't know if it's going to be Horizon specifically. It might be a trailer for it, maybe not too much more gameplay.
Well, you gotta think, the state of play, it was back in July, actually. They didn't really like show off any like major projects. So I'm assuming that this showcase they're going to go more in depth of what's to come, like God of War, for instance, because all we got was that logo.
Yeah, all we got was that logo. And I don't know. I mean, unless they want to. What was that date one more time?
September 9th.
Oh, September 9th. Could be final Kenna Bridge of Spirits trailer or launch trailer because it comes out on the 14th, I believe, or 18th, and Deathloop comes out December comes out the 14th of this month. Hopefully, Arcane gets back with me and see if I can get a review copy.
Do
And what's that?
I was gonna say, do you think because you heard about The Last of Us Part Two's like their standalone multiplayer, right? That's supposed to be coming out.
Oh yeah, man. See, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, but uh, I haven't brought it up to you, and that's my bad. But I just think about just talking with Anubis about some of this stuff. So like I was like, this is dead in the water. Might as well not even think about it. But now that you bring it up, see, I think that was like a I think they were like that was like a red herring possibly. Like I know that they had Ellie in a back shot, but Naughty Dog really just asked if they asked for like employees for their first standalone title or standalone multiplayer title. I don't even know if that's necessarily going to be Last of Us.
Oh,
If it is, and like I just don't know, and I didn't read the entire article or whatever, that's whatever. I just read what they said when they posted the tweet, or maybe it was on Facebook, saying that they need people for their first online multiplayer game, standalone online multiplayer game. It could be they got several titles, and
right.
I'm not familiar with Uncharted as much as I like to be, but they got Jack and Daxter. Um, damn, Jack and Daxter, Uncharted, and Last of Us. There's another game that they have. I feel like it's not Crash. They don't own Crash anymore.
Hmm. I know a Jack and Daxter remake would be pretty sick.
I
I played the game years ago on my PlayStation 2, so
Yeah, I like the Jack series a lot.
I also I think maybe possibly it's rumored that they might show a little glimpse of the Last of Us remake. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. Not that I'm not excited or anything. It's just I'm
There's
so focused on going forward.
right. There's like so many things happening and so much going on. I try to keep up with like little tidbits here and there. And whenever I heard about the showcase, I started diving back into like potential showings and stuff. And I know Naughty Dog is notably known for like their Last of Us series, Uncharted with like Nathan Drake and like you mentioned Jack and Dexter. But The Last of Us, I know there was some momentum there for like the remake. So maybe we'll get a little sneak peek if that's something they've been working on to show off.
Right, and I'd be fine with that too. Um, there's a lot that it could be. A lot of people really want it to be Final Fantasy 15. I'm not 15, Final Fantasy 16, because Final Fantasy 16 only had like one showing. Personally, I hope it's Lost Soul Aside too, because that's supposed to be a PlayStation exclusive. I don't know if it's like a PlayStation exclusive, like period. Have you seen Lost Soul Aside?
I have not.
Okay. I would link you a video, but it'd probably knock you out of the call. I'll still link it to you. Lost Soul Aside is it's a game that was made by this one guy. I believe it's a Chinese dude, and he was heavily inspired by Final Fantasy 13 Versus, which eventually became Final Fantasy 15, if I understand correctly. And it's a really interesting looking game. It's like a action RPG. Um, well, not even action RPG. It looks more like just a straight up action title. Lost Soul Aside gameplay. One dude made the game originally, and then like Sony picked it up, and he got a whole team behind him. It was actually pretty epic.
Oh, one dude originally was behind it.
Yeah, one dude originally was making it, and Sony saw his progress, and they picked him up. Which is another reason why I don't understand why a Anubis says, "Oh, Sony doesn't like smaller studios. Sony absorbs Sony." I'm like, bro, you and I both know about Lost Soul Aside. So how in the hell are you even saying on any of this? Oh, I'm about to.
I'll definitely have to look into it.
Oh, for sure, for sure, for sure. Uh, I'm sending it to you now. But and looking for it, I kind of lost track of what I was thinking about talking about next. Oh yeah, Sony and I hate to keep talking about Sony, but I don't even know if there's anything going on with Microsoft or Nintendo. Normally, I'd leave that up to Anubis.
Um, Nothing really noteworthy to talk about. That's why most of the topics I wanted to bring up was just Horizon Forbidden and the showcase that's about to happen next week for PlayStation.
Right. I hate to be like a biased pod or anything along those lines, but it's like it's hard when it seems like it seems like we're mostly just interested in Sony stuff because they just keep getting those exclusives. So they bought Crunchyroll, and some people are like throwing fits. I guess I'm trying to figure out when they're gonna merge Crunchyroll and Funimation. I hope they do that so I don't have to have two subs because I got two subscriptions. I got Verve, which is made by Crunchyroll, and I got Funimation. I hate the Funimation app. I think it's bad. It's poorly executed. And as for Crunchyroll, I don't really know too much about it. I just know I watch anime on Verve, and the anime comes through Crunchyroll. So if they can combine both those websites, it would just be more. It'd be easier on my pockets, and I don't really care about them getting a lot of things. That's what a company should try and do. When you get that successful, you should expand your business. If you ask me, I watched this one guy say that these corporations just they keep taking things, and soon there's going to be nothing left. And I'm just like, I don't really think that it's an anime website, man. It's not the end of the world. Like if they do have control of all the anime, good for them. That means they can make more games out of it. That means that they get more money in their pockets to put into their other games. I think that'd be good for the company and good for all of us because we'll have more entertainment. Personally,
I was gonna say partnerships are crucial and needed in the gaming world. PlayStation with Funimation and like you're talking about the possibility of Funimation and Crunchyroll, that would be pretty epic. I know Xbox has partnerships with the likes of EA, the freaking gaming studio, EA. That's why they have EA Play on their freaking Game Pass. And then they have deals with the NFL as well. So it's nothing new. These studios, these gaming, companies will reach out, make partnerships, and offer those, on their platform, whether it's Crunchyroll and Funimation or what is it? I think it's either Sony or Microsoft. I'm trying to figure out who closed the deal. Was it on Discord that they had
uh,
a partnership?
well, they
There's
both deal with Discord. It's just that yeah, Sony like actually signed a partnership. It's not like they don't. They're not gonna keep Microsoft from having Discord. Is what I'm trying to say.
okay, and then the only exciting thing that I can think about Xbox is recently um, they have limited editions of the Xbox Series X for Halo Infinite coming out and Far Cry 6. But hey, it's not like the console itself now. The original Xbox Series X isn't in limited edition because stock is limited.
Yeah, and I think both MS and Sony are like trying to change the development process of the consoles. From what I understand, the new PS5s are going to have like a smaller heat sink or something.
Oh,
Yeah. And I don't know. There's something else to them. I don't remember what it was, but there's going to be some differences because there's a chip shortage and just shortage of everything really because of the pandemic.
right.
Yeah.
We're just fortunate enough to have gotten our hands on a next gen console.
Right. 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 I'm. I'm. I feel very blessed because I'm not gonna lie, man. I just feel blessed because this PS5 really has got me through some shit so far. I've been able to play everything that has came out, and I've been able to play it whenever I wanted. Like Final Fantasy VII remake Intergrade, love that. Uh, I'm going to be able to play Death Stranding. I haven't gotten the Ghost of Tsushima expansion because I gotta pay. I think it's like $20 or $30 to get like the director's cut edition or like the best edition where they like rework the lip syncing so it has like Japanese lip syncing. I want that specifically because I play in Japanese because it only makes sense in a Japanese island, but it's made by Americans. So anyway, um, yeah, PS5 has been dope to me. Uh, you got any interest in Deathloop at all?
Yeah, I've taken a little peek here and there at it. It's caught my interest.
Yeah. Did you ever play Dishonored?
I tried getting into it years ago, never really played it, but now that it's available on Game Pass, I thought about jumping into it.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been like $5 on PC for a while now, and I think it was free on PlayStation like a couple times. But yeah, um, Dishonored 2 is my favorite out of like the three games, and it's made by the same studio. There's a lot of similarities. There's actually some similar powers too. Um, but it seems like you can go gung ho in that game. There's not really like a morality system where things get worse. The badder you are, the more people you kill. It just seems like you just go ahead and go ham. And there's a PvP element to it. Certain people can just drop into your game, and man, I I'm excited at that concept with the PvP because that's new. That's never happened before. I'm not gonna have it turned on the first time I play through the game, but every other time I think I'm gonna do it because it just seems like a fun element. It doesn't seem as volatile as like the Soul series where you get so much progress and then you don't have any fun trying to get your progress back. You have to fucking be grumpy the entire time. um,
I was gonna say about Dev Loop. I read some of the backstory on it. I know it's like you're stuck in I think it's like a 24-hour period, and it's like never ending,
yeah.
and you have to like cross off certain names off a list, and that's how you can progress. But if you don't, I think get the names off the list like before. I think there's like a time limit. It resets your progress.
hmm Yeah. So like, it doesn't limit you specifically like during your mission or your area. It depends on who you take out. So if you take out one or two people per area, then time moves forward. From what I understand, I think there's like three different time frames. So it's like day. I think it's morning, day, evening, and night. I think it might be. And I don't know that's four, but still. Um, and you're supposed to get all of the visionaries, is what they're called, together, or you're supposed to kill them within the 24 hours so you can solve the murder puzzle, as they call it, so you can stop the loop in time. Uh, Nobody remembers what happens except for you and the NPC character that the co-op person, not the co-op, the invader person takes care of. Not takes care of, plays with. Sorry, I'm tired.
No,
Um, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait for it. Hopefully, Arcane, like I said, gets back to me. I emailed them and I responded late because the email, when they responded to it, it came in my promotions, so I didn't see it. Hopefully, we could I can get that early and review it because I'm really excited for it.
yeah, that would be pretty awesome if you could get your hands on it early and play it and get a good review going.
Yeah. There's it's quite funny having the PS5 and the PC because I find myself torn on what version I want of things. You know, it's
Right.
you ever been in that situation?
I have.
Yeah. Could you tell me more about it?
Oh, sorry. All
You're right.
right, repeat the question. My son was distracting me a little bit.
No, you're good. I was supposed to say, could you tell me more about a situation where you had to choose between the consoles or computer for like a specific game?
Um, yeah. So, like currently, um, I know it's not. I know there's because I got the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox, and I've actually gotten a certain game multiple times on each of these consoles, and that game is Skyrim.
Hmm.
And I will say Skyrim on a Nintendo Switch is no bueno.
Of course not.
Um, my PS4 Pro, I never really had any issues with it. It ran great, but I noticed a difference between the PS4 and PS4 Pro. Obviously, one's slightly better. And then with my Xbox Series X, it's just with next gen, the enhancements, the visuals, I've found myself leaning more towards the Xbox. I still play my PlayStation because, I still have like Ratchet and Clank and all that on there.
Hmm.
But any game that I have multiples of on like all my different consoles, I've been leaning more towards my Series X now. And I think I would probably do the same thing, say if I had like a PC, because I know ultimately at the end of the day, you're just going to get the best out of a game on a PC just because of what it's capable of doing.
Okay, I want to stop you for a second and just let the audience know that you admit to stealing. You say you had Ratchet and Clank on an Xbox. He modded his Xbox, folks. But
Oh,
yeah.
listen, okay, so about that, I'm going to let the audience know.
Mhm.
You can buy, it's $20. It's a dev kit. You buy on the Xbox. You can get on, Xbox One. You can get on the X, the Series S, Series X. $20. You purchase it, and on that dev kit, you can, get emulators, and you can put files on said emulator.
Right.
Play certain games like Ratchet and Clank, God of War, like, and I can play like a Nintendo.
PS2 and PS3 games,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mario Sunshine on my Xbox. Why not? It's not stealing. It's there.
It's emulation. It's literally stealing.
It's there for people to use.
I
I
mean,
look at
I emulate myself. You know, I emulate games that I already have. I, I don't know if you do that, but I emulate games I already have. But like, it'd be a bitch to record, or some things along that line, or like a game I never ever had. Like Virtual on the Sega Saturn. I never had that. I'm trying to figure out emulation for it, but you're just a thief.
see. I look at when you walk into like a Kroger, Walmart, or somewhere, and they have like free samples. It's basically the same thing. I'm getting a free sample.
That's not even remotely close. Like, no, it's more like let me think of one. It's more like you go to a car lot to buy a car,
Yeah.
and the guy, you ask him if you can go for like a test drive, and he goes to get the keys, and then you take his keys and steal his car.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like actually. And then like because he has 10,000 cars, he doesn't know that you actually took his car, so he's like, huh, I, I guess he didn't want a test drive.
I mean,
That yeah, my example is the shit. I can't believe I came up with that so quickly. I'm a potter.
valid point. Um, it is true. These companies, these studios, they don't really make anything off of these games anymore because it came out like 20 years ago. So
Mm.
they don't notice any difference because they've already made their money. Now,
Hmm.
wrong, it depends on how you look at it. Honestly, at the end of the day, it just I enjoy being able to play on emulators and just if
I'm
I
sure
want to
you
play
do.
Shine on my Xbox, I can. If I want to play Ratchet and Clank on the Xbox, I can.
I used
It might
to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it might seem wrong, but at the end of the day, it feels so right.
I used to know a guy that had in the PS3 days. He modded his PS3 to like download any game he put into the PS3, like download it. I mean, like burn the CD into the fucking PlayStation. Man, somebody stop that shit. I actually ought to see if I could still do that because they like made it so you couldn't get online after that shit. But there might be like new hacks for it. I think there's also a hack to just download games on the PS3 just to play them. So I mean, it's not like exclusive to Xbox. I mean, you telling me that it was the first time I was hearing of it, but I don't really like look into stuff like that unless it's on PC personally. Um, but if we're gonna go back to like the choice between like consoles and stuff like that, a PC is really like it. I want PlayStation to be like my main hub because it's just easy access and easy to get into. But PC with all these cool mods, it just makes it hard for some games, especially when some of the games have input delay because Unreal Engine gives some games input delay. I don't know if you know that. It's been happening a lot in fighting games, and like the developers have been having to go in and patch it because Unreal Engine is kind of trash. But yeah, on PC it's like much better for whatever reason. Maybe it's because it's just more optimized. I'm not entirely sure. Um, so it's not just mods; it's just like other performative reasons. It's not even because I can adjust it any way I like. Um, like Guilty Gear is that way. It's just really difficult to make decisions nowadays since I got the PS5 and I have the PC. Is all I'm trying to say.
Right.
Yeah, but Death Stranding. I don't know if Death Stranding. Um, I know it's a horrible segue, but Death Stranding is director's cut. Is the PC getting the director's cut? I don't think so. Is it?
I don't think it is. The
Man, that's
piece.
kind of. I would be kind of upset if I was like a PC fan and I got Death Stranding, just to be like, haha, we have your PlayStation game, because some of those dudes did that. Haha, we got the PlayStation game now. All your games are coming to us. And then you find out that you don't get the director's cut of Death Stranding, which evidently is going to be fucking epic because they basically changed the whole game.
Right.
Oh man! And then Horizon. They got nothing to say about Horizon. They're like, yeah, we got it on PC. And like, I guess the patch for Horizon Zero Dawn, people are praising it because it works better than the PC version. Because the PC version's frame rate is like, yeah, I played it myself. I got Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. That shit is something else. Like it functions at 60, but the frame drops are ridiculous. But it's kind of like pick your poison because when I played it on PS5 after the patch, I seen some pop in I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I mean overall it was just better performance. Um, man, it's like not even I don't even have to mention Xbox anymore, man. It's just all about Sony versus Steam. Steam is like the one that we need to worry about,
Oh
and
yeah.
and
No,
vice versa.
I was gonna say, I think the issue is not necessarily like, um, well, it is the issue, right? So, for instance, a PlayStation game, whether it's Death Stranded, Horizon, whatever, it's gonna run optimally well, like on console, because I feel like it was made originally for that specific console, like first party title, and then it transitions over to PC, which is wild to me because PC has like all the optimizations, the power, like it should be able to run it, no flaws, whatever. But it seems to have an issue with those first party titles coming over. And I think at the end of the day, it just boils down to optimization, and it's clearly going to run better on what it was meant to be on originally, I think.
Hmm. Right. Well, man, what are you playing recently? Like, well, what's we're probably going to close this out. Um, and this could be as long as you like too. Like, what have you been playing recently, man? I know you got Psychonauts. I never played that game.
Yeah, so I have been playing Psychonauts 2. Um it it's wacky, the characters, the gameplay, it's as comforting as, let's say, Ratchet and Clank, right? Cuz there's a familiarity there between platforming and worlds, and but I know Ratchet and Clank is just a little bit better. I'm not gonna front. I've played both. I enjoy Ratchet and Clank, but Psychonauts 2, I never really played Psychonauts before because I didn't have an Xbox. So thanks to Game Pass, I jumped into Psychonauts before.
Wasn't that
Psycho,
on like PS3 and like Wii?
what is it?
The original Psychonauts? I thought that was on a bunch of platforms.
If it is, if it was, I never got into it, and now that I've gotten into it, it's enjoyable. I like it so far. I haven't beaten the game yet, but I'm getting towards the end. So I've been playing that. I've been playing Brawlhalla. It's a little knockoff of Super Smash Brothers, but it's kind of fun. Um, I've also been playing some.
They're making
Uh,
a
huh?
they're making a Nickelodeon version of Smash too, and
Yeah,
pe-
I seen the leaks that came out on that.
yeah. Well, there's like a whole trailer, but a whole couple trailers, I think. But yeah, that game is gonna have rollback netcode, which is in layman's terms, this is very good net play for fighting games. But please continue. Sorry, I mean to go off on a tangent.
And
I'm sorry. What?
a little bit of Skyrim as well. I jumped back into that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. On the Nintendo Switch, though, I've been playing Pokemon Unite still.
I was supposed to say like, how are you enjoying these games? Because I know you're playing them and everything, but like, Psychonauts is the only one you gave a real breakdown of. I'm assuming the other ones are kind of losing you.
Um, the other ones I haven't invested as much time in. Other than Psychonauts 2, because I'm trying to beat the game. Pokemon Unite, I still find myself enjoying jumping into. They have diverse selection of Pokemon you can choose from. They're consistently updating it. They just added Blastoise to the game just a couple days ago. So far, it's been enjoyable. It's just my time's mostly been in Psychonauts too. I'm just trying to get that game beat whenever I have free time to play. That is.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? What have you been playing?
It's been like a big mix of, well, and to a smaller extent. Let me get the smaller extent out the way. I've been playing some Mega Man X Legacy Collection. So like I've been flipping around through that. Mega Man X Dive is a mobile game that recently came out, which is like
Oh,
a huge homage to the X series and even regular Mega Man. They got regular Mega Man characters. Uh, it,
gotcha.
it's a gotcha game, so like they want you to pay to get characters basically, but there's a free way to do it. I ain't spending $300 on it like Anubis would. Uh, which by the way, I told him about that the other day. I spent $1 on it. The most I might spend on the game is 60 because it does feel like a regular Mega Man game, and I do want another X game. So like, okay, I'll spend 60 on it because it feels like this could be like something I could go back to. There's PvP, there's a little bit of co-op. and the characters are pretty faithful to their full game counterparts. So that I feel comfortable with, even though it's a mobile game, and I can play that shit on my PC because there's an emulator for it, and it's free to emulate it because it's a free game anyway. So I'm not a thief like you. Um,
Oh God.
yep. And
Hey, we
uh,
can just end it there. We can end it here.
nah, man. I still got more to get off. Unless are you gone?
No, no, I'm still here.
Okay.
I had
Uh
a I had a call come in.
oh well, shit. I mean, if you want to end it, like if you gotta get to the call, I'll talk to myself.
Well, I mean, I just gotta call him back real quick. It's you know, you can just cut this part out, but it's for my son.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just hit the pause. All right, everybody. So it looks like Mr. McChicken could not make it back, at least in time. I'm about to go to fucking sleep. So I'm just gonna close with what I've been playing recently. Been playing a lot of Neo 2 and a lot of Cyberpunk 2077 on PC. Neo 2, I've gotten re-addicted to it. I've made more builds. I might show some off in this video. Who knows? Um, I've made new builds. I've made my other builds more efficient. And Cyberpunk 2077, I modded it, so I basically have New Game Plus now. And I'm gonna remake my character with some skills that I feel like the character should have had earlier on in the game, and I'm going to make another build. You know, I thought it'd be funny. I have my Corpo character. He's going to be stealthy, really techy, intelligent stuff like that. And then I'm just gonna make a nomad country character that just fucking uses not axes, kanabos and swords and shit, and just runs all over the fucking place and bashes people over the head. So I think that'd be fun. Anyway, I think that's it for this pod. If you like what you heard so far, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And I don't know, can you hit the bell? If you want to support the channel, feel free to donate to our PayPal accounts. Um, any support that you give us is much appreciated. Maybe if we get enough support, we can do something special. Anyway, have a great day.